Yo, guys, welcome back again today. So today we're going to be talking about the rapper Flo Rida. So Flo Rida was somebody that was very popular, a rapper that was very popular in the mid 2000s, I would say. He actually did, probably the most well-known song that a lot of people might know him by is Low, right? And so what happened is that he got into a contract with a company called Celsius, right? And from 2014 to 2018, he was supposed to do certain things for the company, right? And the company supposedly didn't come through and give him the things in the contract that he signed and said that he was supposed to receive once he did what he was supposed to do for the company, right? And so after this deal was made, Flo Rida was like, hey, like, look, I signed a contract that said that once I fulfilled my side of the contract, I would get stock options in the company. I would get a part of the ownership of the company and stock options, right? And all these other things. I would also receive royalties from the company. And so what Flo Rida went to court with his lawyer and said was that he did not receive what he was supposed to receive from 2014 to 2018, if I'm correct, when he signed a contract with the company. He's saying that he fulfilled his side of what he had to do, right? I don't really remember if these were commercials or anything like that because I just can't remember that. But I vaguely remember Flo Rida being on TV for some commercial. So it probably was this Celsius drink, right? Or the Celsius company. It probably was this. I just can't remember 100%. But he went to court and he won. So when he went to court, he won. It was stated that the company was very vague in a contract of what they wanted Flo Rida to actually do and to fulfill. And so he won $82 million, if I'm correct, $82 million in court. $82 million. $82 million. When I saw that, I said, what? Flo Rida? $82 million? Now, here's the interesting thing. There are some rappers that make music that becomes worldly party music, and they sort of kind of leave their core audience. Now, I think Flo Rida was always more of like party good music because he's from Florida. And not saying that, Florida artists don't make deep content, but a lot of times you can go either way, especially if you're from Miami. Like, I've noticed that a lot, right? Throughout history, just in hip hop in general, like you can have party music, right? And I'm not saying that they were always making party music, but there's some people that were known for having a good time and more party music than more in-depth type hip-hop, but more like party type hip-hop. And I would put Flo Rida under that category, at least in his mid to later part of his career, right? So when you have artists like him, you have artists like Pitbull, right? They're from Miami. They're doing the whole party scene thing, but they're doing it in a hip-hop way or hip-hop party music. You can eventually cross over and have this worldly type appeal, right? And so I would say that Flo Rida, Pitbull, people like that have crossed over, and they don't have just one demographic anymore. They sort of kind of have like the whole world, let's party, let's have a good time. So I understand that Flo Rida was already getting more money, right? A lot of people think because they're not as relevant to like a certain demographic, right? Or they're not as popping in our community anymore, that means that they're not getting money no more. When you could either go one way or the other. So a lot of people, they're not really the most smartest with their money, right? And then other people, they're doing moves, making moves in the backgrounds, right? Investing into technology companies, investing into, S&P 500 ETFs or whatever it is, right? Whatever they're into, sports teams, whatever it is, right? So you got to like think long term. You're getting all this money now. How are you going to invest it to move to that next level to where whenever you don't want to rap or whenever you can't rap anymore or you don't, well, maybe you're not as relevant, what can you do next, right? So it's not that I'm saying that I didn't think he was already like doing his thing, because of course he's getting money, but especially from a worldly perspective. But when you look at like what has been happening, a lot of times I haven't even heard anything from Flo Rida in so long, right? Like maybe a couple years ago he made, maybe he's making party songs right now. I just don't even know it's him because I don't know. He's probably writing songs too, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I have to look into it. But he won $82 million today from this company, and that sort of surprised me. That's why I'm saying all this right now, because that sort of just surprised me. I never knew that this was even going on. It just sort of kind of just popped up, and I was like, oh, word? Okay. Dang, okay. And so with that $82 million, he's also getting 1% of the stock options in the company, if I'm correct. And I'm pretty sure stock options, not ownership of the company, but it's 1% either way. And so he said that's what he was owed. That's what he wants. And he wants his royalties, right? So the royalties part, I'm a little vague. I don't really know what's going on with the royalties, but he might still get his royalties. But he got $82 million, then he got his royalties. So of course, naturally from the $82 million, he's going to have to pay his lawyer, which maybe he already has. Who knows? Who knows how much that's going to cost, right? But also, obviously, that money's going to get taxed as well. So, at the end of the day, Flo Rida might take home, I don't know, I would say maybe, just to be on the safe side, like 60 million after everything's done, maybe 70 million after everything's done. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But he won 82 million, guys. It's interesting to see these things, because that's why it's very important for you to read all of the contract, right? And make sure if there's things that you don't understand or things that you don't feel comfortable with, make sure you go back and forth in contracts with people, right? And a lot of times, sometimes companies, corporations will try to scare you, and they can. I'm gonna be honest with you. They got a lot of resources, and sometimes there's some people where they're just like, you know what? Next person, because you're taking too long. So you gotta judge it. But also, you want to make sure that whenever you're dealing with contracts, you want to make sure you read it all through, understand it. If you don't understand it, get somebody around you that you trust that does understand it, right? Or pay somebody that you trust that does understand it. And then once you understand it, even take it to somebody else after that. Even after you took it to the person that you trust, and take it to somebody else and let them read it to make sure they don't see nothing different, right? Or they don't say anything different. And then once you make your conclusion, you sign the contract. But also understand, in contracts, there is some times where you should take the money up front. There is. It just depends on what it is, how risky it is. You can't win everything. You can't always be that person that gets a certain share of the company and the company lasts for 300 years and your kids is eating and whatever. It's just, business is difficult, and you have to take risk and chances and calculated risk, and you have to know when to stay in something and when to get out of it. So it's not as easy as just saying, oh, always go in the long run, right? Because obviously there's some people that have gone on the long run with certain companies and corporations, and those companies and corporations didn't do anything down the road, and they just sort of kind of tanked, right? So it's all a risk, right? Life is a risk in a lot of ways, but you always want to make sure that you try to go for the future gratification versus the instant gratification, especially if you can do it in a way that is going to benefit you in the long term, and you see that a company or corporation is going to be really, really big. Yeah, that, I don't know, $250,000 might seem nice now, but if you know that they're willing to pay you this, a lot of times, more than not, that means they're going to be way, 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 way bigger and way huger than what they're probably even going to pay you. But then also sometimes it's good to take the $250,000, because you might be able to reinvest it, and you're just like, look, I'm done with this transaction, I'm done with this contract, I'm done with this ordeal, and I'm gonna go do my thing, right? Because, there is a such thing as greed, and sometimes you can be too greedy as a human being. These are things we have to fight with. So sometimes being too greedy can play you to the left, sometimes not being greedy enough can play you to the left too. Good old life, right? But Flo Rida got $82 million. What do you guys think about it? Please like this video, subscribe, turn on the bell notification down there so you get all my videos. Add me on all social medias, which is African Network, which is Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook, Snapchat. Each one teach one. Always love each other. Always learn from each other. And yo, guys, till next time, peace. One love.